building, Mumbai. He was elected Bishop of Amravati on 11 July 2000. Amravati Diocese for 6 years. Bishop was designated as the Archbishop on 3rd. He has been in charge of the Catholic education in Western Region Catholic Bishop Council, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Goa. Promoter of education to family values and online program for Western Region Catholic schools. His Grace Reverend Elias Gonsalves, we are truly humbled to have you here with us this evening. I request you to kindly come forward and deliver the keynote address.
Of Divar, with its lush green nature, is one of the most beautiful places in Goa. It is part of the Kumbhazuwa constituency. So also is the Montfort Academy in Korlin. And this constituency is led by a dynamic leader, a leader who won not only the 2022 Goa Legislative Assembly elections, that too by an overwhelming majority, but he also won the hearts of his people. A down-to-earth and kind gentleman, he is committed to all-round development of his constituency and serves the people with a smile. His approachable and kind personality makes him a favorite among his people. He is here with us this evening, so I request Shri Rajesh Paldesai, Honorable MLA of Kumbhazuwa constituency, to kindly say a few words on this occasion.
Good evening, everyone. I would request everyone to kindly take your seats and kindly turn your phones to silent mode. On behalf of the All India Association of Montfort Schools, I, Tanya Shirodkar, and my co-compare, Ms. Larissa Fernandez, would like to welcome you all dignitaries, special invitees, and delegates to the National Conference. The theme for the conference this year is Changing Course, Transforming Education. We have with us the President, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal, Superior General Montfort Brothers, Rome. The chief guest for this evening is Sri Dr. Pramod Sawant, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa. Unfortunately, due to sudden commitments, he couldn't be with us here this evening. But we are very happy to have Sri Morvin Gudino, Honorable Minister, Transport, Panchayat and Industries, as the chief guest for this evening. We welcome you, sir. We also have with us guest of honor, His Grace, Reverend Elias Gonsalves, Chairman CBCI, Education and Culture and Archbishop of Nagpur. We also have the guest of honor, Sri Rajesh Desai, Honorable MLA, Kumbarjua Constituency. And guest of honor, Sri Michael Manny D'Souza, IAS Director, Training and Secretary, Goa Institute of Public Administration and Rural Development. We also have amidst us Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam, Chairman, National Council and Provincial Superior of Trichy. Reverend Brother Jaiko Garvasis, the Provincial Superior of Pune Province. And Reverend Brother Shine Alex, Convener of National Education of AIMS. Education is more than a fundamental right. Education has a vital role to play in developing knowledge, skills, and attitudes that enable people to contribute to an inclusive and sustainable future. The Ministry of Education has introduced the new Education Policy 2020, providing a broad framework for guiding the country's educational growth for a knowledge-driven economy. The National Conference, organized by the All India Association of Montfort Schools, aims to build and promote a conducive environment that would equip students with the skills they need to become active, responsible, and engaged citizens. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, light to the imagination, and charm to life. To begin this conference and to welcome you all, we have the students of Montfort Academy, Goa, presenting to us all a welcome song, Swagatam Shubha Swagatam.
स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् हितप्रियं भारत भारतं हितप्रियं भारत भारतं स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् नित्यनिरन्तरता नवता मानवता समता ममता नित्यनिरन्तरता नवता मानवता समता ममता सारथी साथ मनोरथ का जो अनिवार्य नहीं थमता सारथी साथ मनोरथ का जो अनिवार्य नहीं थमता संकल्प अविजित अभिमतम् संकल्प अविजित अभिमतम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् हितप्रियं भारत भारतं हितप्रियं भारत भारतं स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् कुसुमित नई कामनाएं सुरभित नई साधनाएं कुसुमित नई कामनाएं सुरभित नई साधनाएं मैत्री मत क्रीड़ांगण में प्रबुदित बंधु भावनाएं मैत्री मत क्रीड़ांगण में प्रबुदित बंधु भावनाएं शाश्वत सुविकसित इति शुभम् शाश्वत सुविकसित इति शुभम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् हितप्रियं भारत भारतं हितप्रियं भारत भारतं स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् आनन्दमङ्गलमङ्गलम् हितप्रियं भारत भारतं हितप्रियं भारत भारतं स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं स्वागतम् अथ स्वागतं शुभ स्वागतम्
Thank you, dear students. As we begin this conference, let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty. I request the students of Montfort Academy, Goa, to kindly come forward and lead us in prayer through a prayer dance titled Boon Boon Ke Milke Bane Leher.
सिखलाई हमें प्यार की सेवा। जब भी कहीं गिरने लगे तूने संभाला। ओ सर्वधर्म समन्वयम समन्वयम समन्वयम। ओ हो बूंद बूंद मिलके बने लहर और लहर, लहर लहर मिलके बने सागर, वो बने सागर, वो बने सागर। दूर पास तेरी दया मिलती निरंतर, भरते रहे अपने मन की गागर, वो मन की गागर, वो मन की गागर। सबके लिए प्रेम का घर तुमने बनाया, लाए तुम्हीं सबके लिए शांति भरा मन। खोल दिए सबके लिए द्वार दया के, चाहे कोई बड़ा हो या छोटा या निर्धन। ओ सर्वधर्म समन्वयम समन्वयम समन्वयम। ओ हो बूंद बूंद मिलके बने लहर और लहर, लहर लहर मिलके बने सागर, वो बने सागर, वो बने सागर। दूर पास तेरी दया मिलती निरंतर, भरते रहे अपने मन की गागर, वो मन की गागर, वो मन की गागर। सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु, सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु, सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु।
Thank you, students. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that." I would like to now request the dignitaries to kindly come forward and light the lamp.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते, दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म, दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः, दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म, दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः। दीपो हरतु मे पापम्, सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते। ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः। ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः। आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च।
As we move forward, I request Reverend Brother Shine Alex, convener of National Education Aims, and the students of Montfort Academy to kindly escort the President, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal, Shri Marvin Godino, His Grace Reverend Elias Gonsalves, Shri Rajesh Valdesai, Shri Michael Manny D'Souza, Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam, and Reverend Brother Jaiko Garvasis to the dais. And to welcome our dignitaries, I request Brother Shahai Raj to kindly welcome the President, Reverend Brother John Kararakal, with flowers. Thank you. I request Brother Sharjan Anthony to kindly welcome our chief guest, Sri Morvin Godino, Honorable Minister, Transport, Panchayat and Industries, with flowers. Thank you. May I request Brother Santosh Kumar to welcome His Grace Reverend Elias Gonsalves, Archbishop of Nagpur, with flowers. Thank you. I would like to call upon Brother Maria Sose to welcome Sri Rajesh Valdesai, MLA of Kambarshua constituency, with flowers. Thank you. I request Brother M. Arul to kindly welcome Sri Michael Manny D'Souza, IAS, with flowers. Thank you. I request Brother Satish to welcome the Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam, Chairman National Council, with flowers. Thank you. I would like to call upon Brother Rayappa Reddy to welcome Brother Jaiko Garvasis, the Provincial Superior of Pune Province, with flowers. Thank you. I now would like to call upon Brother Robert to welcome Reverend Brother Shine Alex, Convener of National Education, AIMS. Thank you. Moving forward, I request Ms. Larissa Fernandez to lead us to the next part of the inaugural function.
Thank you, Tanya. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Light has dispelled darkness from our minds, and the flowers have added their fragrance into our lives. We are now set to adorn this evening with some words of wisdom. To mark the beginning and to put into perspective the vision of this conference, I request Reverend Brother Shine Alex, convener of the All India Association of Montfort Schools, to kindly welcome the gathering.
Reverend Brother John Clerical, Superior General, Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel, Rome. His Grace, Most Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves, Archbishop of Nagpur. Honorable Minister Sri Mavin Godino, Honorable MLA Mr. Rajesh Faldesai, respected Mr. Michael Manny D'Souza, IAS, Reverend Brother Urdayam, National Council Chairman and Provincial Superior of Trichy, Reverend Brother Jacob Gavasis, Provincial Superior of Pune, Reverend Brother George Padigara, Reverend Brother Thambi Alex, Reverend Brother Wagis Mandabatil, Reverend Brother Herman Lagra, Reverend Brother Johnson, Provincial Superiors of Bangalore, Delhi, Northeast, Ranchi and Erkard, principals of Montfortian institutions, invited dignitaries and guests, members of the media, friends and well-wishers of Montfort Academy, Corlim, dear teaching and non-teaching faculty members, beloved students, it's my pleasant privilege to extend a hearty welcome to each and every one of you present here for this meaningful and mega inaugural ceremony of the 6th Principals Conference of the All India Association of Montfort Schools here in Goa. Montfort schools in India have been rendering service to the society through the mission of education since 1903. Montfort schools have become a brand in India. There are 218 educational institutions managed by the Montfort brothers in India. About 600 brothers render their service in these institutions spread across 22 states in the country. Montfort brothers have made education a universal and inclusive mission with a broad outlook for children to grow up as global citizens of the world. Knowledge and learning are humanity's greatest renewable resources for responding to challenges and inventing alternatives. Yet, education does more than to respond to a changing world. Education transforms the world. Education is a key piece of the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Despite the scope of these global commitments and the expected achievements, there is still an urgent need to look beyond this fast approaching horizon. With accelerated climate change, the fragility of our planet is becoming more and more apparent. Persistent inequalities, social fragmentation, and political extremism are bringing many societies to a point of crisis. Advances in digital communication, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology have great potential, but also raise serious ethical and governance concerns, especially as promises of innovation and technological change have an uneven record of contributing to human flourishing. With COVID-19 exposing the fault lines of education systems globally, more than 130 countries committed to rebooting their education systems and accelerating action to end the learning crisis at the UN Transforming Education Summit. In 2021, 244 million children and young people were out of school. The pandemic has harmed the learning of more than 90% of the world's children, the largest disruption in history. With half of all countries cutting their education budgets, further deepening crisis. It is now estimated that 64.3% of 10-year-olds are unable to read and understand a simple story. Instead of being the great enabler, education is fast becoming the great divider, stated the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The rich have access to the best resources, schools and universities, leading to the best jobs, while the poor, especially girls, face huge obstacles to getting the qualifications that could change their lives. With the view to discuss and deliberate these realities of the present day system of education, the same UNESCO theme of the year 2022, Changing Course, Transforming Education, was chosen for the 6th Annual Conference of the Principals of the Montfortian Institutions, organized by the All India Association of Montfort Schools, AIMS, which is attended by about 120 principals from across the country. The objective of the conference is to provide a platform for the principals to converge, collaborate, and share ideas. We intend to adapt to the rapidly changing times with the National Education Policy 2020 and its impact on our Montfortian Ministry of Education. The goal of Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel is to continue to impart quality education by focusing on education with universal values so that we get actively involved in contributing for progressive India and nation building. We feel extremely proud to have with us 5 prominent personalities as our guests this evening, multiplying our happiness with their graceful presence. Reverend Brother John Clerical, the Superior General of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel, Rome, the president of this ceremony, is a highly successful leader of an international organization with its headquarters in Rome. He has 40 plus years of experience as an excellent educationist. He is truly an effective and definitely an efficient educationist, a role model for all the Montfort brothers and our educational institutions and establishments in more than 35 countries all across the continents. In the words of James Hume, the art of communication is the language of leadership, and the essence of efficient leadership is relationship skills. Reverend Brother John Clerical is an epitome of excellent communication and relationship skills. It is an honor to have our Superior General, Reverend Brother John Clerical, was with us this evening. I extend a hearty welcome to you, respected brother. It is with great joy that I welcome our guest of honor, His Grace, Most Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves, Archbishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Nagpur, and the newly appointed chairperson of the CBSEI Office for Education and Culture, New Delhi. We, the Montfort brothers, have been closely collaborating with His Grace in the dioceses of Nagpur and Amravati in Maharashtra. He is a motivating visionary and an inspiring spiritual leader. Hats off to your persona of holiness and grace. His Grace, Dr. Elias Gonsalves, is a concerned, compassionate, and a committed leader and a passionate educationist. I extend a warm welcome to you, His Grace, Most Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves. Our chief guest, Honorable Minister Sri Movin Godino, Minister of Transport, Industries, Panchayat and Protocol, Government of Goa, is a perfect example of a very fine, simple person. There is goodness as well as greatness in the simplicity of the personality of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Movino Godino. I was really motivated to see him speaking in the YouTube while congratulating the Cardinal of Goa, Philip Neri, in the governor's office, and I was particular that we invited him for this inaugural ceremony. We are extremely happy to extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. I sincerely thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and spending your precious time with us this evening. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Honorable MLA Sri Rajesh Paldesai, he is an affectionate leader. You can really see it from his very charming face, who is always available for everyone around him. His extraordinary relationship skills and connectivity with all the people of his Kumburja constituency has made him a popular leader of this region. We are immensely grateful to you, sir, for the great support and encouragement you provide for our Montfort Academy, Korlim. Hearty welcome to you, sir. It is my pleasure to welcome respected Sri Michael Manny D'Souza, IAS Director and Secretary, Goa Institute of Public Administration, Rural Development, as our guest of honor for this inaugural ceremony. He is a dynamic officer and a highly competent and intelligent engineer by profession. His achievements and administrative expertise, dedicated service and contributions make us, the Catholic community, to feel proud of him. He is a role model for our Catholic community here in Goa. A hearty welcome to you, sir. I would fail in my duty if I do not give 100% credit to Brother Prem Sagar, Director of Montfort Academy, and all staff coordinators, program coordinators, and students whose dedicated efforts of last 90 days is going to make this conference a successful one. I appreciate our esteemed provincials and National Education Commission members for trusting us, for their continuous cooperation, collaboration, for providing all possible assistance to make all necessary arrangements for this conference. Once again, I renew my warm welcome to each and every one of you present here. Let us journey together, learn together, and experience during these 3 days the joy of communion. Thank you. God bless us all.
Thank you, Reverend Brother Shine. A good leader focuses on serving those who follow him. This evening, we are honored by the presence of a great leader who's steering Montfort to greatness. He is none other than Reverend Brother John Clerical, Superior General of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel. He has traveled all the way from Rome to grace this occasion. He has been serving the Montfort congregation in various capacities. These are the positions that he has held: Principal, Montfort High School, Common, Little Flower Junior College, Hyderabad, St. Gabriel's High School, Kazipat, Little Flower High School, Hyderabad, St. Gabriel's High School, St. Matthew's Public School, Vijayawada, General Secretary, Andhra Pradesh Minorities Educational Institutions, President, Conference of Religious, Warangal, Provincial, Councillor and Convener, Educational Commission, Province of Central India, President, Conference of Religious, Vijayawada, Provincial Councillor and Convener, Finance Commission, Province of Central India, elected as Assistant General on 30th December 2005, elected as Superior General on 13th April 2012, and re-elected as Superior General on 16th April 2018. Following are his achievements, some of his achievements and distinctions. Third rank for B.Ed from Osmania University, Hyderabad. First rank for M.A. English from Punjab University, Patiala. First rank for M.Ed from Osmania University, Hyderabad. MS in Counselor Education from the US. Best Administrator Award in 1982 at Khammam. National Integration Award for the Best Principal in 1995 at Hyderabad. Best School Award for Little Flower High School, Hyderabad in 1997. Best Principal Award 1997, Hyderabad. Best Teacher Award 1999 at Warangal. Vidya Bhushan Award in 2000 at Hyderabad. Best Principal Award by Andhra Pradesh Minorities Educational Institutions Society. Lifetime Achievement Award, again by Andhra Pradesh Minorities Educational Institute Society. Jewel of India Award by International Institute of Education and Management, Delhi. Broad Outlooker Learner Teacher Award by Air India, Mumbai in 2004. Srija Award for the Best Principal in 2005 at Vijayawada. And he has also conducted several seminars and workshops for teachers, principals, and senior students. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Reverend Brother John Clerical to deliver the presidential address. Put your hands together for the Superior General.
Distinguished dignitaries on the days, Mr. Movin Godinho, Honorable Minister of the Government of Goa, Your Excellency Dr. Elias Gonsalves, Chairperson of CBCI Commission for Education and Culture, Honorable Member of the Legislative Assembly, Mr. Rajesh Faidesaji, respected Mr. Michael De Souza, Director of Training, Reverend Brothers Chairman and Provincial Superiors of the National Council of India, respected President and Executive Members of the All India Association of Montfort Schools, distinguished resource persons of the conference, esteemed participants of the Montfortian schools and their collaborators in mission, dear friends from the media, the principal, staff and students of Montfort Academy, ladies and gentlemen, it's good evening to you all. It's certainly a joy for me to join the leadership of the Montfort educational institutions at the national level today for more reasons than one. Since I have been in some form associated with Montfort education from 1970, and since I had the joyous privilege of heading educational institutions for a quarter of a century, Catholic education as a means of evangelization and transformation of individuals and societies is a subject that is close to my heart. I never get tired of repeating the oft-quoted statement from the report of the Kothari Commission of India. I quote, "Human resource development alone can transform the society from underdevelopment to development, from stagnation to growth, and from poverty to comfort." Well, there is no doubt in the minds of the educationists today that if education has to achieve the lofty objectives, it has to be holistic and transformative in every sense of the words. That is precisely why the report of the International Commission on Education for 21st Century by UNESCO, titled "Learning the Treasure Within," written by Jacques Delors, says that education throughout life should be based on the four pillars of learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. Equally memorable are the words of Dr. Radhakrishnan, an educator par excellence. I quote, "Education to be complete should be humane. It should include not only the training of the intellect, but the refinement of the heart and the discipline of the spirit." We are certainly honored to have with us this evening the Honorable Minister of the Government of Goa, His Grace the Archbishop of Nagpur, the Honorable MLA, and the Director of Training. Their presence with us is ample proof of their interest in education as a means of transforming the individuals and societies. As the present leader of the Montfortian family at the international level, I wish to place on record my sincere appreciation to each one of them for their encouraging presence. In the same breath, I wish to acknowledge with thanks the valuable presence of all our esteemed resource persons who will inspire the participants to transform education offered in our country, bringing about the needed changes in the curriculum to meet the changing needs of the society and to make it relevant to meet the challenges of the present day society. I wish to place on record my sincere appreciation to all the executive members of the All India Association of the Montfort Schools under the leadership of Reverend Brother Shine Alex, for all the planning and preparations that have gone ahead of this conference and for encouraging the participation of the principals in such goodly numbers. I offer my sincere congratulations to the past and present members of the Education Commission of the National Council of India for making this conference of the principals an annual feature. As I keep repeating often, quality education in the present day society is a monumental task which can be accomplished only with involvement, participation, and commitment of all the stakeholders in education. I am reminded of the recent advice of Pope Francis to the educators. I quote, "Collaboration in a spirit of unity and community among the various educators is essential and must be fostered and encouraged." If holistic education is an imperative for the Montfortan education in the 21st century, and if changing the course of education and transforming it to meet the changing needs of our times is the need of the hour, the heads of our educational institutions have certainly a major role to play. Education is essentially the process of transformation of an individual to enhance the ability to meet the expected or unexpected situations in life. It is a continuous process of learning, and it is indeed understanding new things in a billion ways, yet doing things in the best possible way. This is exactly what the 32nd General Chapter of the Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel mentioned. I quote, "Montfort and Gabrielite education will help students to arrive at the threshold of learning skills and be equipped with a sense of scientific inquiry and innovation, making lifelong learners and holistic persons in society." The 32nd General Chapter also reminded us in unambiguous terms, I quote, "Rooted in the values of the gospel, the Montfortan Gabrielite vision of education is a powerful tool for personal and societal transformation, and that gender equality, human rights education, sustainable development education, peace education, and child rights and protection of minors are essential elements of the Montfortian Gabrielite education. As we are all aware, for the past 75 years, the UNESCO has been working to build a more just, inclusive, sustainable, healthy world through education. However, it's clear that what we have learned has not prepared us for the challenges we face today. Therefore, we need to change the course of education and make it transformative, that transforms people who can transform societies and build a better future. It is only common knowledge that our world is facing unprecedented challenges today. Climate change, violent and hateful ideologies, mass loss of biodiversity, new conflicts, and the risks of global pandemics, to name only a few. Education systems need to be reoriented to equip learners with the knowledge, values, and abilities to act for the betterment of all people and the planet as responsible citizens of a global community. It's my earnest hope that Montfort education will be oriented to achieve these cherished goals. Before I conclude, let me wish the 6th Conference of Principals all success. My renewed thanks to the organizers for all the planning and preparations that have gone in advance, to the resource persons for their sense of availability and for their passion for education, and to all the participants for taking time off to be present for this conference. I wish also to place on record my heartiest thanks to the distinguished dignitaries on the days today for their gracious presence, and to the local committee headed by the director of Montfort Academy for making the needed arrangements at the venue to ensure that all the participants will have a comfortable stay and a fruitful session. Thanks in advance to the administration of Mercure Hotel for providing the right ambience for this conference. Thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you, Reverend Brother, for your warm words. This majestic island of Diwar, with its lush green nature, is one of the most beautiful places in Goa. It is part of the Kumbarzua constituency. So also is the Montfort Academy in Kolim. And this constituency is led by a dynamic leader, a leader who won not just the 2022 Goa Legislative Assembly elections, that too by an overwhelming majority, but also won the hearts of his people. A down-to-earth and kind gentleman, he is committed to the all-round development of his constituency and serves the people with a smile. His approachable and kind personality makes him a favorite among his people. He is here with us today, so let's put our hands together for the Honorable MLA of Kumbarzua constituency, Shri Rajesh Faldesai.
Unfortunately, Shri Rajesh Faldesai has to take our leave, but before he goes, as a token of our love, I would request the National Council Chairman, Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam, to kindly present a memento to him.
Let's put our hands together for the Honorable MLA, Shri Rajesh Faldesai. Thank you, sir, for your presence this evening. God bless you. Once again, thank you, Shri Rajesh Faldesai. We are indeed privileged to have as our chief guest, Shri Movin Gudino, who has been serving Goa and its people for the last 30 years. He is the Minister of Transport, Panchayat, Industries, Protocol, and a member of GST Council in the Pramod Sawant-led government of Goa. From 1994 to 2012, he represented the Kortali constituency. Currently, he represents the Daboli constituency in Goa. Chief guest, no? What is that?
It will be this way. His Grace will speak. Okay, His Grace.
He is the chief guest, so he'll speak now.
Order is order you follow. Yeah, His Grace will speak.
Change it.
I will tell her. His Grace will speak.
Okay.
Then myself, and then Minister.
Follow the order.
Okay, first the Bishop, and then myself.
Yes. Moving further, It is an honor to introduce to you all the guest of honor for today, His Grace, Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves, Chairman, CBCI, Education and Culture, Archbishop of Nagpur. Most Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves was born on 4th July 1961 in Chulna village, Vasai Road, Thane, Maharashtra. He studied at St. Pius X Seminary, Mumbai, and was ordained priest on 1st April 1990 in Vasai for the Archdiocese of Bombay. He has a BA in History and Economics from Bombay University, and he did his studies in Community-Based Development and Leadership from St. Francis Xavier University, Coady Institute, Canada, and studies in counseling. He was the assistant parish priest at Nandakal, Vasai, and Sandor, youth coordinator for South Vasai Deanery, priest in charge at Roha, priest in charge at Panvel, assistant director and then director, Center for Social Action, Mumbai, director, Sarvodaya Center for Capacity Building, Mumbai. He was elected Bishop of Amravati on 11th July 2012 and ordained on 29 September 2012. After having served Amravati Diocese for 6 years, Bishop was designated as the Archbishop on 3rd December 2018. He was installed as the Metropolitan Archbishop of Nagpur on 27th January 2019. Episcopal Ministry, he has been in charge of Catholic education in Western Region Catholic Bishop Council, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Goa. He was the main instrument in forming Western Region Catholic Foundation for Education as registered company under Companies Act 2013. He is promoter of Education to Family Values online program for Western Region Catholic schools. His Grace, Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves, we are truly privileged to have your presence with us. I would request you to kindly come forward and deliver the keynote address.
Very Reverend Brother John, the Superior General, Honorable Minister, Mr. Marvin, Mr. Michael D'Souza, the Director of the Training for Secretaries and Capacity Building for Panchayat Raj, Brother Shine, and respected brothers on the dais, and you, my dear brothers. I'm very glad to be here this evening. I know you all have traveled quite distant and come from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and the northeast, that side to Gujarat. All are come from different distant places. At the outset, let me congratulate all of you for your service in the field of education. I do not want to bore you by my dry speech, so I have a small presentation there. So instead of looking at me all the time, you can look at the presentation, you can see some colors there. So, the first thing that which I appreciated, the motto and the goal of your congregation, Jesus Christ is our inspiration, our rule of life, our model, our guide, and our goal. And this motto that which you have which very much reminds me the unique characteristics of our Catholic education and the Montfortians, that the children are angels to be admired, adored, and assisted in their growth as children of God. This is at the core of your educational ministry, which I have closely associated with in Amravati Diocese and also in the Archdiocese of Nagpur. But what I truly appreciate is the Montfortians are not just in the city, but they are also in the remote places. And that is what I really congratulate you for being balanced in your approach. There in Amravati you have the remotest place, Melghat, which is one of the backward places in whole Maharashtra. The mortality rate is very high in infants. And there in that remote place at Dharni, you have a school. In Nagpur, you have in Garatola. This shows that you do not just serve the elites, but also reach out to the poor and marginalized. I wholeheartedly congratulate you for your efforts to reach out to our people and make the impact of education in all the fields. I bow with respect and honor the brothers who are veterans here, and some have gone before us to the Lord. We remember them. May they rest in peace. But their contribution, what they have handed over to us, is great. And that is what we inherit, this rich, dynamic, and great deal, these institutions of learning and higher learning, which you are holding now dear to your heart. I'm reminded here of the letter written by Pope Francis on the year of consecrated life, Rejoice. In that, he uses one word. He said the consecrated life is centered around one word, that is joy. The beauty of consecrated life is in joy. And you, Montfortians, are in midst of the little ones, the little angels of God. Surely you have that joy deep down in your heart. My dear brothers, in calling you, God says to you, you are important to me. I love you. I am counting on you. This is what Pope Francis also said in this letter in the year of consecrated life, which I am repeating today for you. The Pope is inviting all of you to go to the root of your charism, root of your vocation. Why I am inviting you to do this? Because in long run, at times we forget the charism or the founding fathers, the intentions that they had in founding congregations. And we need to go back to our roots in order to draw the strength for the present day situations, the changing situations. Today our theme is changing course, transforming education. I'm very much delighted to know this theme that which we have. Just few days back, UN Secretary General Antonio issued a framework for education action that has 3 global priorities. Number 1, put every child into school, improve quality learning, foster global citizenship. I don't want to develop this and focus only on this, my talk, which you are very much aware. But as a coincidence, Pope Francis has the monthly intention this month. Children who suffer. We pray for children who are suffering, especially those who are homeless, orphans, and victims of war. May they be guaranteed access of education and the opportunity to experience family affection. I think we have a strong message from both these leaders, world leaders, stating and inviting us to focus our attention on the co-charism the Montfortians have. We all know and we are very much familiar with put every child into school. Just yesterday or day before, last 2 days, there is a caption coming and there is a discussion on TV channels that 82% of Indians are literate. And one of the great educationists abroad said, for India, 82% is very less. And he is challenging the Indian governments that why only 82%. My dear friends, as Brother Shine earlier told us, the number of percentage during pandemic how have gone down. The girl child education has gone down, and this has truly affected the whole educational world. There is a big number of dropouts in our schools, and this is surely going to affect the whole society in long run. We need to make sure put every child into school. The second important thing that improve quality learning, that we need to see how we can make difference with our education. This which I will focus later from the Catholic education perspective. I want to dwell more on this from Catholic education. I know you have great speakers lined up, but I would like to focus this. You may call me as the churchman, but let me have a privilege to dwell on this little later, what the church is thinking in this line. We need to also focus on a good maintained infrastructure. We have infrastructure, but do we truly maintain them and make friendly for our children? Quality of teaching and teacher will only make us child-centric education. If we focus our attention only on infrastructure and external things, we will miss the point. And therefore, the new education policy also will focus our attention to child-centric education. And this, all of us need to make sure during these days how we can make impact and influence in our institution child-centric education. Third, foster global challenges and global citizenship, which all of us are aware. Now the whole globe is a small village. because of the communication that we have. It's no longer we are in high speed range, but we have traveled now to supersonic speed. And the speed, the way the whole society, the whole world is making difference today is a challenge before us. My dear friends, these three important aspects which our United Nations Secretary General has brought to our notice. But what, from my perspective and from the perspective of the church, what I would like to focus your attention also on the 4H education model. Mahatma Gandhi and Pope Francis has been insisting 3H, but I am also adding the 4th H, that is health. The holistic development of a child can be achieved only through the language of mind and head, language of heart, language of hands, and language of health. The overall holistic development of a child is necessary today, especially after post-pandemic. We conducted a survey just lately and we found very many children are affected with psychological problems after the pandemic due to too much of media, too much of mobile, due to too much lockdown at home, and so many other factors have influenced the children. In this background, now what I would like to focus your attention on this 4th and 5th point, that is Catholic education. Pope Francis has beautifully put it. He calls for a new era of education and educational commitment involving all members of society. Today we want to state that our religious traditions, which have always played a leading role in schooling, from teaching literacy to higher education, reaffirm their mission of integrally educating each individual, head, hands, heart, and soul, to think about what we are feeling and doing, to feel what we are thinking and doing, to do what we are feeling and thinking. The beauty and harmony of what it is to be fully human. My dear friends, schools are privileged environments, not only for instruction, but also for encounter and integration. Our Catholic institutions of schools and higher learning are called to educate their own students who will be tomorrow's administrators, entrepreneurs, and cultural leaders, to a clearer understanding of the phenomenon of migration within a perspective of justice, global responsibility, and communion in diversity. This, all of us need to keep in mind. We have very few Michael D'Souza's left now in the government circle. Handful. Somewhere something has gone wrong. We need to check. Why we are absent, the Catholic community, in the administration of the government. And it is a serious thought that which we need to give in. Why? I am just posing a question before you. The whole humanity to sign a compact on education by committing themselves personally to take up the following 7 commitments. Pope Francis just recently gave those talk to the international body of education. These 7 commitments, we all know them. Very much we are doing it. But I want to once again pay your attention to. To make human person the center. This is one of the principles of Catholic social teaching. Human person, life and dignity of every human person. Second, to listen to the voice of children and young people. Third, to advance the women. Now, we have a male-dominated group here. There are no women among us. Only few people are here. But we need to make sure how the women perspective also should be brought in our approach to education. The third, to advance the women. The fourth, to empower the family. More and more, we need to make sure how family can be part of the whole education system. The parents and the siblings need to make sure they are the part of learning in the accompaniment of the children in the whole process of schooling. The fifth one, to welcome, to educate and to be educated on the need for acceptance and in particular openness to the most vulnerable and marginalized. The sixth one, to find new ways of understanding economy and politics. The seventh, to safeguard our common home, which we have been talking time and again here, and the resource persons will surely focus their attention. My dear friends, the Vatican II also invites us to reflect on this fact. We must break that idea of education which holds that educating means filling one's head with ideas. We are too much head-oriented education. Therefore, what I was talking earlier, that 4H model could be tried to integrate in our whole system. My dear brothers, today I would like to urge you to keep watch. To keep watch, to continue the praiseworthy efforts that you are making. I know some of you go through really difficult times, especially who are working in the remote places. There are no all facilities, all kinds of things available. But that is the praiseworthy efforts you are making. And some of you also involved in the social development work. How we can put this together, complement this work together, not compartmentalize, but social justice and development work and education can be done together in your centers in rural areas. And which is sure, I have seen that very well done in our Dharani by Brother Jose and also in Garatola, which we need to focus more in other parts, especially in North India. And I have been talking with Brother when he visited me first time in that, and I appreciated this, that this is a praiseworthy efforts. You are behind the scene, you are doing all this. You are not in the forefront. You are not awarded with the best teachers award maybe. But you have a reward for this, is the satisfaction that which you are working for the underprivileged. I would like to ask you to return to the intentionality proper to the educational institutions which you have inherited from your founding fathers. In the convergent commitment of teaching, research, dialogue, and confrontation with society. We cannot remain out of the society and do our bit in our well structured schools, but rather to open up. In these challenging times, which Brother John mentioned, Brother Shine mentioned, we have challenges. I'm not going to mention all of them, but we have to clarify our goals, redefine our objectives and strategies, and rededicate ourselves with our vision undimmed. Sometimes we get carried away with things which attract us, but go back to your roots and see how we can find our bearings, strong bearings on our Catholic education. With resoluteness and sureness of purpose, and with the collaborative efforts of all stakeholders, and above all, with abiding faith in God, Montfort Group of Schools in India will continue to march on to the next decades that and beyond, that which we need to make sure how we can see the future that which is coming. Again, we have this chart, what UN offers to us and what the church is focusing, both are interlinked. They are not separate. The Pope is often insisting on this 7 proposal of global compact, thinking how we can make our education in this line more effective and more influencing the world today. In the exhortations written by Pope Francis, the 2 of them which I would like to bring to your attention, that first is Christus vivit, that is Christ is alive for the young people, and Amoris Laetitia, joy of love. Both this exhortation have 7 chapters focused on education. Both these exhortations. And Pope Francis is focusing his attention in the life of family, how our education needs to be made effective. He says in Christus Vivid, yet schools are in urgent need of self-criticism. How we can do self-criticism. Not to be negative, but self-criticism is required. Are we on the right track? Where are we? And where we would like to be? Fear of change makes them entrenched and defensive before the dangers, real or imagined, that any change might bring. A school that becomes a bunker, protecting its students from errors from without, is a caricature of this tendency. The Pope is warning us, have we taken our students in the bunker? We have become too overprotective because of so many things happening in the world today. The POCSO Act, the ICC internal complaint, Vishaka guidelines, and there are so many rules and regulations. The Supreme Court is issuing so many guidelines and so many new rules and regulations, which is making our life really, we are getting suffocated. But how we can break through these bunkers that which we have built ourselves and for our students, how we can get out of it. In Christus Vivit, Pope Francis again is telling us, Catholic schools remain essential places of and for good news of the young. That good news to all, that is evangelization. What is that good news? To give values to our children across the religions, the value system that which we hold dear. And these values need to be focused in our education system. In Amoris Laetitia, Pope Francis tells the family is the first school of human values, where we learn the wise use of freedom. Certain inclination develop in childhood and become so deeply rooted that they remain throughout life, either as attraction to a particular value or a natural repugnance to certain ways of acting. This again, we need to make sure how we can get involved the family, the parents in the whole education system. My dear friends, and finally, I want to wake you up if you are sleeping. I know it was long, reading some quotations we get bored, but now the time. The post-pandemic, the challenges before us. A few days back, I was there for a higher education. Father Joe was present there, and I put the challenge before higher education people. Because the president said, now we are in the age of values that which are degrading, and we need to see that Catholic education needs to bring back the values in our higher education. But my dear friends, it will be rather too late and too little when they are in higher education. When they are in state of childhood or as a school student, we can do better. But now, all our education systems is suffocating us. There is no time for value education. In Bombay, I had a discussion with few principals and the secretaries across the board. They said, Bishop, don't break your head. We have no time for catechism and value education. Don't break your head. Nobody will do. And yes, I'm shocked. We, Francis Joseph is there. We sat down for days together to reflect in my first 2 years as a bishop of Amravati. And as soon as I became bishop, I was given this job by Cardinal himself, because he was supposed to be in charge of education, Cardinal Gracious. He said, I have no time, you take it up. I was never a principal, or I only had supplementary classes for 200 villages in Raigad district. Supplementary classes for those tribals. That experience, 10 years, I carried it on with real zeal and dedication. In 200 villages, we were making day in and out to reach our teacher in that remote mountain or remote place to go and teach simple supplementary education. The government officers were appreciating. Once one video and that SCDS, what is that, the food they provide, ICDS, both officers came to me and said, what are you paying for your teachers? Because when we go on the mountain to see our teacher, she is not there, but your teacher is there. I said, we pay 800 to 1000 rupees for 3 hours. So they put their hand, we are paying thousands, but they are not reaching. I said, they are motivated. Your teachers come for salary, our teachers come for motivation. And my dear friends, what I want to pose a big question today. Can we have our own board? We have 20,000 Catholic schools in India. And we would like to be subservient to somebody else. ICICI, maybe CBSC and the state boards, we are gulams. Like they are ordering us and we are dancing, they are beating the drum and we are dancing on their tune. But why can't we have board, our own board, Catholic Education Board? The general and the provincials here, can you hold the umbrella? Nobody is ready to bell the cat. But you, dedicated crowd here, I want to pose a big question to you. Can we think of this? for our future generation. We have been carrying out education for the last hundreds of years. We are proud about it, we boast about it. But in what situation, in what circumstances? In this suffocated situation, are we free and truly allowing the Spirit to work through us? Or we are lighting the lamp and putting under the dash. I am posing this challenge before you. Before it is too late, why don't we think about Catholic Education Board? Pope Francis has given us a challenge before. How do we make our Catholic education effective? We have been proud about it, but are we making difference in the education system? That is the question. The first challenge that which I would like to pose to you. The second challenge that we have is to change the course. What is your topic today? Change the course, transforming education. Who will begin? Who will bail the cat? If you want to change the course, it has to create a force. You see the river flowing? When it starts overflowing, it creates its own course. It doesn't stop, wait, I'll go through my route only. No, when it starts flowing with force, it creates its own ways and moves ahead. Whatever comes in the way, it carries away. So my friends, today we need to see how we can get into dialogue with teachers, parents, students, in all the fields, and make our value education more effective through all the subjects. CBSE is inviting you to teach value education through all the subjects. But will it be possible and will it be focused? The third challenge, new education policy. It's going to open the doors and windows. It's going to bring new breeze, new air. Are we going to be blown up by it? Or are we going to stand firm and face the new education policy as it comes and when it comes? The fourth, unlearn, then relearn. Now is the challenge for us. To implement the new education policy, we need to unlearn. Here I see 4-5 veteran brothers. They may be thinking what's really happening in the field of education, which they were pioneers for many years. But what is happening now? We need to unlearn in order to relearn, because there are things changing faster than what we think. The fifth challenge before you is technology and digital revolution today. Artificial intelligence, the way the speed is moving, I said earlier, it is a supersonic speed now. It's not just high speed. Your internet is not just going to high speed, but supersonic speed. The things are changing. The sixth challenge, innovation and creativity, or go out of business. That's the challenge before us. Perform or perish. No longer we are going to be monopoly in education, which was there. The grand old days. No longer going to be the same, because the corporates are getting into it, the NRIs are getting into it, and they are throwing hundreds of challenges before us. So are we prepared for this? Then the seventh, these are uncertain times. Leadership matters. We will normally show the finger to provincial, then to general, then to bishop, and then to Archbishop, and then to Pope, and this showing finger goes on and on. But the leadership at the grassroots, there in the small little village, matters. You can begin the change what you want. I will just tell a small incident which the police commissioner Ribeiro shared with us when he was talking to us as a priest. He told, I never waited for anybody to give me orders. What I had the power, wherever I was, I changed. I changed the situation. I didn't wait somebody else to tell me. He said, when I wanted to demolish anything, illegal structure, I knew the ministers are going to phone me. So I used to, those days mobile was not there. He used to keep van 2 kilometers away, middle of the night, and walk to the place where he wanted to demolish, especially these illegal goons running the night clubs. He walked there, demolished everything, and he had instructed, he said to the policeman with the wireless phone, if anybody phone calls you, tell them, sir is away 5 kilometers away. He used to finish the job, come back and phone the minister and tell, the minister is sitting here, sir, what happened? They used to scream, why you went and did this? Sir, I finished the job. I didn't know that you wanted to stop it. I finished my job. And what he would do it legally, with the court orders and all. He said, what difference I want to make, I did it. The leadership matters. And this is what I believe I also try to do in little way, not that big way, but leadership matters. We need to bring changing of course beginning from each one of us. Not from the bishop, not from the church there in Rome. Rome तो बहुत दूर है. हम तो गली में काम करने वाले हैं. तो begin a change of course here and now on the spot. Then only truly we can bring that transformation in our education ministry. I'm calling it ministry. I'm not calling it work. It is an education ministry. And it is your vocation, my dear brothers, which you have committed totally and dedicated your lives for this ministry. And sure, when you stand for truth, the truth will stand by you. And this challenge, with this spirit of truth, we need to work today in the present day challenges. Changing course and transforming education is in your hand. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Grace, Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves. Your words were really, really inspiring. And I'm sure that most of us are going to continue to transform the education in India. Moving further, it is a privilege to introduce to you all the guest of honor, Sri Michael Manny D'Souza, IAS Director, Training and Secretary, Goa Institute of Public Administration and Rural Development. Sri Michael Manny D'Souza has a degree in Mechanical Engineering from the Goa University and a master's degree in Engineering with a specialization in Industrial Engineering from the Goa University. He also went on to pursue his postgraduate diploma in business management from the prestigious Goa Institute of Management. He has been associated with education and was also a lecturer. He was posted as Deputy Director in the Directorate of Education from October 2003 to June 2004 with additional charge of OSD to Minister for Industries. He was also the Director and ex officio Joint Secretary, Department of Science, Technology and Environment. He also held the charge for Member Secretary, Goa Coastal Zone Management Authority and Member Secretary, Goa Energy Development Agency. Sri Michael D'Souza was promoted and inducted into the Indian Administrative Service, AGMUT Kader, by Department of Personnel and Training, Government of India and joined the IAS in March 2021. He has functioned as Director, Vigilance and ex officio Special Secretary to Government from May 2022 to September 2022. Presently, he is the Director, Training and Secretary at the Goa Institute of Public Administration and Rural Development, Ella Farm, Old Goa. I request Sri Michael Manny D'Souza to kindly come forward and share his thoughts with us this evening.
Thanks a lot. At the outset, let me greet those who on the days. His Grace, Bishop Elias, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal, the Superior General of Montfort, brothers, the provincials who are here on the days and off the days, Brother Shine Alex, Brother Prem Sagar, and my government, Shri Movin Gudino, Honorable Minister for Transport, Panchayati Raj. Mr. Movin Gudino is also the member from Goa on the prestigious GST Council, and he heads much of almost 7 committees of the GST Council, which decides each and everything, including the place in which we are gathered here, what will be its rate, what will be its tax, what will be its component of entertainment, amusement, eating, drinking, all that. So he's the persona. So in future and in the event the rates go up and down, blame it or thank Honorable Movin Gudino. All the faculty gathered here, brothers, some priest here, educationist here, technical people out here. I thank the Montfortians, if I may call you all, for having me to grace this occasion at your annual summit. Every year you all hold a summit. But I don't want to sound too repetitive, talk about education, all that kind of thing. But let me share some of my views. I thought a few of them, and I would appreciate if you all bear out with me. A little background. 11th of this month, we celebrated the National Education Day. I do hope it was a function which all of you all had in your schools, in your institutions. This National Education Day is in honor of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who was the independent India's first education minister, and he laid down the foundation for the country's education system per se. And incidentally, this year's theme of the National Education Day is the exact theme here: changing course, transforming education. And I'm glad that you all chose this as a theme to assimilate prospectively what you all can do as the course changes. And this change of course is likely to transform education. I purposefully use this word likely. It is a call for reforming the education system to make it adaptable to the changing times. These are not my words, but these words have been taken from Professor Kosturi Rangan, former chairman of ISRO, and who was I would say the father of the NEP 2020. And what he says is, the NEP 2020, based on the pillars of accessibility, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. And NEP aims at transforming India into a vibrant knowledge society. this was, when asked to spell out what would be NEP 2020, he spoke in these 2 lines only, which gauges that almost 168-page document which is there on the Ministry of Education's website, and probably which you all may have gone out and torn your hair apart to understand what it is all about. And what it says is a policy which brings wonders in the education fundamentals. To me, it's all Greek. What is meant by educational fundamentals? Probably Professor Dr. Paul will be able to tell us what education fundamentals means. But it is going to create a drastic transformation in the life of many school and college students by introducing creativity, learning, experiments, visualization, and art in the education sector. This particular statement seemed to be too profound for me to, a small mind like mine, to understand. And I said, boss, I was also doing the same thing when I was in school. So what has changed? Is it that jargon has changed? Or is it that old wine in some new bottle? Is it that we have transited from 1986 to 2020 and we have forgotten all about it? I'm not going to delve into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 versus 10 plus 2. No, I'm not going to delve about it. But what the NEP talks about is framing mother tongue regional language as a means of instructions. And it keeps me thinking, is English education not bad enough that we want to focus on mother tongue? Yes, the child grows well. That's what education is saying. Are we reinventing the wheel or trying to postpone that reinvention of the wheel or trying to just push ahead? We also speak about options for students at the undergraduate level, part of NEP. Well, what are the options before him or her? Providing equal education to every gender and category. Is the government not doing this? Are our schools, the Catholic schools, not doing this? And there are several other changes which social scientists and educational scientists are talking about. NEP 2020, end of entrance exams, just a single exam to gain entry into educational institutions of higher education, producing different learning outcomes, one of them being online, and all of us have undergone through it. You all have undergone through it to facilitate the teaching process. Me as a parent have undergone through it to learn and unlearn to teach my child during this 2 years of pandemic. Introducing digital education through online, offline platforms. Promotion, teachers, etc., etc. It's a complete. What do I say? It's a complete whole education system is about to change, and yet 2 years have gone by, and therefore we seek to ask 4 critical questions here, which we need to ask ourselves, introspect, seek a response, and decide upon. The first one: do you think there is a need to ensure that all educational streams get equal importance? If yes, then how could it be done? I'm drawing this out from the NEP 2020. Brother Shine Alex and Brother Prem Sagar sent me an email just, I would say 36 hours back, 40 hours back. And then last 12 hours, I'm trying to read through that volume to understand, and then I could only pull out these 4. But I think there are so many questions which this conference will bring about. My answer would be highlighting the need for critical thinking and holistic inquiry-based, discovery-based, discussion-based, and analysis-based learning is the need for our education system, and that is what NEP 2020 is talking about, this transformative idea to reshape all this critical thinking aspect. It also says, and what experts say, the education system can now be tactically merged with any subject. So we would have an engineer like myself undergoing a medical education and performing neurosurgery. Think about it. Think about it. Okay, imagine myself, okay, undergoing all that kind of things on the screen and doing, okay, and this is the, what is the cortex? I'm sorry, okay, I'm getting it wrong. Okay, dura matter, no, I'm getting it wrong. So I will be thinking, I'm trying to think my 12th standard science, I'm trying to get into this and I'm trying to perform a neurosurgery. Get into that concept. The idea is to get children what they want and what they are interested in. Yes, my 9-year-old, okay, talks about, 9-year-old, he talks about, okay, some, like how His Grace had said, supersonic age, and he talks about, you know, this particular jet has flown at 7 Mach, 8 Mach. Okay. This was something at 11th standard or 10th standard to us, Mach. And he's a 9-year-old, he's in the 3rd standard, okay, and he's talking to me about this Machs. This system is not bound by a technical system which is prevalent at time. I fail to understand. Maybe educationists here will be trying to tell us. The system is not bound by a technical system. These are the same extracts from your NEP 2020. Not to be critical, but this is an opportunity to be critical, to think about it. And for experiential, hands-on learning, STEM education plays a huge role. Okay, and all of you all must be doing it. All of you all must be doing it. It did not require NEP 2020 to bring it about. The second question which comes about is, proper teaching training not only ensures that the teachers remain up to date over time, but it also develops the country's education system. What, according to us, are some of the crucial ways in which teachers can be trained to cope with the changing times? We talk about managements, we talk about our institutions, but have we spoken about our main stakeholder, that is the teacher, the facilitator, who is imparting that particular crucial thing known as education? And therefore, the training modes and the tentative training modes need to be evaluated. You need to have a system like how they have in the higher education, the UGC-based career advancement scheme. That sort of schemes need to be in school education too. In fact, the school education teachers need to be paid higher, if not at least equal to the college education. In college education, we have teachers drawing 2.5 lakh salaries, and we see the outcomes. And here we have dedicated school teachers down the line, painstakingly taking care to see that a child is educated, and we pay them peanuts. And of course, all of us will say, 7th pay has given them a good package. Mind you all, what is that package? Can we think about that? Can you all be the voice to tell the government, boss, we need to think about this. If we are investing in education, and if 6%, that is what NEP says, 6% of our GDP has to go into education, think of the salary component too. It's not basically as the speakers before me have spoken about infrastructure alone. That human resource is critical in this thought process also. Teachers forums must be made functional and pandemic, and this pandemic had brought it down to a stark low. Okay, probably for the first time in reading through newspapers, we did not find anybody coming out on the street to strike. Teachers coming out on the street to strike is a bad example, an absolutely bad example, especially when we speak of the sustainable development goals, and 2030 is not far away, or 2035 is not far away, just 13 years down the line. improve the system for the teachers. The third question which comes about is, do we think that instead of focusing on the evaluation on a 3-hour exam, the current education system must focus on evaluation on the basis of classroom participation by a student along with extracurricular activities? If yes, then how it can be implemented? If no, then why not? This is another question. A 3-hour exam, end-term exam, does not evaluate the child, and parallelly, neither does that classroom teaching evaluates, or classroom participation evaluates the child, or the assignments which we give, which are too bookish. We are not looking out from the horizon of the page and the ebb of the page. We are only concentrated into that square. And then finally awarding them marks. That marks. And therefore, the need for comprehensive and continuous evaluation, which is already being implemented by you all, is another focus of the NEP 2020. And the final and the fourth question is, what would be your views on whether everybody should have access to good quality education irrespective of their social or economic background? Our schools, and we are proud of it, okay, as His Grace has already spoken about it, our schools are in the forefront. 0.2% is delivering nearly 85% of the country's education system. That's the thing. It doesn't require to bring this topic in NEP 2020. But Professor Kasturirangan has been specifically of that view. He doesn't have to point towards us, but he is pointing towards the government and the future governments to come. Boss, these are things to be done. Everybody has to be in school. Right to Education Act, you all have already dealt, and I think there have been thousands of PhDs awarded on that. We need not speak about it. But has it achieved its target? 6 to 14 years. Make it 6 to 18 years. Make it 6 to 21 years. If it is a goal to achieve SDG for the year 2035 or 2030 as a case may be. Which this aspect itself will require dedicated budgetary allocations, not only by the central government, but also by the state government. And as I conclude, let me put it in this manner. Learning is one of the surest paths towards having a successful and a flourishing life, as it assists one in understanding life better and gaining knowledge to fulfill one's own ambition. But an educated person holds the ability to perceive issues and give worthy solutions. And sometimes allowed, innovations by teachers should be encouraged and incorporated in the training content, so that our education system will also walk in the direction of transformation. With these few words, let me conclude wishing you all the very best, and let me hope that you all have a healthy, productive discussion ahead. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. D'Souza, for sharing your thoughts with us. As I have mentioned earlier, we are glad to have Shri Marvin Godino with us, the Minister of Transport, Panchayat, Industries, Protocol, and a member of GST Council. He represents the Daboli constituency. Following other constitutional offices he has held, 1990, he held the portfolio of Industries, Mines, Rural Development, and Protocol. From 1994 to 98, he held the portfolio of Science and Technology, Food and Civil Supplies. 1990 to 2000, he was the Minister of Revenue, Inspector of Factories and Boilers, Weights and Measures. In 2017, he became the Minister of Panchayats, Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Services and Protocol. He was elected as Deputy Speaker of the 5th Legislative Assembly of the state of Goa. He has also been on various important state committees, for instance, Chairman of Committee on Delegated Legislation, Member of Select Committee on the Goa Land Use, Budget Committee, Committee on Government Assurances, Select Committee on the Goa Commission for Minorities, Select Committee on the Goa School Education, Member of the Rules Committee, Chairman of Committee on Privileges, Member of Business Advisory Committee, and Member Select Committee on the Goa Police Bill. He was instrumental in opposing land acquisition of local people and comunidades by the central government agencies. He has also successfully carried out a lot of developmental work in his constituency and across the state. In 1980, he was awarded a special award on the subject Peace and Disarmament at the International Youth Camp held in Moscow. In his college days, he was awarded the Best Actor and Best Director award. A man who stands for moral integrity, having imbibed the best values of Christianity and other faiths. He believes that service and brotherhood are the hallmarks of his approach to life. We are very happy by the presence of a distinguished political figure amidst us. I humbly request our Honorable Minister to address this gathering. Let's put our hands together for Honorable Minister.
A very good evening to everyone. The guest of honors this evening, my friend and His Grace, Dr. Elias Gonsalves, the Archbishop of Nagpur, the guest of honor, Mr. Michael D'Souza, who has held various positions in the government and one of the most dedicated and honest officers, I will say, whom everybody wants to partake in their domain so that he gives good result. Similarly, Jaiko, the Provincial Superior Pune, Irudayan, National Chairman from Trichy Provincial, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal, head of all Montforts and the Superior General at Rome. We are very happy to have him amidst us, sparing his time. Other dignitaries on the days, of the days, from all the provincials, principals, and all the educationists who are trying to reform and transform this country and humanity as a whole. First of all, I will say, I myself got quite educated listening to all the eminent speakers here. For me, I believe education is something which is a continuous process. We should keep our eyes and ears open to hear things, to learn things by vision, by traveling, by meeting people, trying to understand better other people. And that's how you can yourself get more educated. Formal education is one thing. Yes, we have to improve. All eminent speakers have said so in various ways what we need to do. Other thing is informal education. How do we first of all transform ourselves? Your theme is very good, changing course, transforming education. It's high time we do so. After the pandemic, we have seen how the world have suffered. We have seen how each one of us has suffered. Economies have suffered. And most important of all, the resource which we try to enrich the citizens with, whether they are toddlers, whether they are in kindergarten, whether they are in school or higher schools or the colleges, everybody suffered. The main resource suffered. Education suffers. You keep coming down. And that is what happened. Therefore, we are living in times where there are many challenges before us. And I think the people who have the biggest task before them, if they chose to accept and transform themselves first, as I said, and partake, to be real participants in changing the world, in changing the citizens, in moving on a path of progress, on moving to a path where everybody feels equal, has the opportunity, gets educated, gets transformed, and changes the course of history, transforming our nation into one of great wealth of knowledge and understanding what others are lacking. And India has the potential. And may I say, at your conference at Montfort schools meet, here where all principals are there, the biggest contribution, sometimes it may not be as much accepted, is from these Montfort-like institutions, especially our Catholic institutions, which have transformed education in this country. Let us accept it. It's a fact. I want to mention here. The small group that you may be, compared to our large population, compared to our diverse citizens, diverse cultures, still we are here from the remotest corner to the cities, to the big places in the country. Educational institutions are imparting that knowledge to everyone who matters and transforming society in turn. But in today's times, when the entire world is changing, everything is changing. As you know, after the pandemic, what happened? We learned that even from home you can perform, you can work from home. As good as going to the offices, sometimes there is no need to go. We can do everything from home. Virtual learning also has come about. As against this background, when today it is a huge competition between the young students, today it's a huge challenges which each one of us has to meet. Is our education meeting the challenge of actually living up to the expectations of those people? Are we in tune with reality? Are we in tune with the changing world? Is the question you should ask. Yes, I fully accept you have been dedicated, fully dedicated. As one of the eminent speakers said, they don't work for those salaries, whereas governments are paid thousands, they are paid a few hundreds. But that sort of dedication is there. Even all of you are dedicated people. And here yet you are trying to deliberate and transform and get something good happening. Yes, our nation also wishes, our Honorable Prime Minister also wishes, our government wishes. Therefore, you have the new education policy. But how good is that for all of you to evaluate? How do you partake and in tune with that? Or maybe a little bit off tune as well. How can you show the world? How can you show the new students that yes, ours are institutions not only of good repute, ours are institutions which have got meaningful substance, which will transform you, which will transform society, which will help you to build and march forward in society, which no other institution can do. That should be your challenge. And you can make it happen. With so much of dedication that I see among our institutions, it does not come to the fore sometimes. And people are happy just doing that much. It is that little extra that is required to really transform, and especially in education. In academics, there may be many bright students. They may be topmost in top rankers. They may be getting the ranks. They may be at the top. But ultimately, what will propel an individual, which you also have to inculcate in them, is that extra thing called extracurricular activities other than the academics. And that is what helps to build a true personality, helps to bring out the hidden material that is there in every student, in every individual. And that is what you have to strive. I would say, happy education would be where somebody does something joyfully, where somebody would love to do that. Not only sitting in the classroom, trying to listen to a teacher in the classroom. I would appreciate if the same teacher takes them to the garden, amidst the trees, amidst nature, tries to teach them few lessons, they will learn much better. It is time for change. These little things, imagine from a classroom, if you move the people out in the garden where there are nice flowers, nice fruits and nice fresh air, will their minds not ignite brighter ideas? Will their teachers not be able to make them absorb much more than what they had thought about the student can absorb? All these things are things to be brought on the table, discussed and planned, and thereafter the plans have to be implemented. In our country, what happens? We plan a lot of things, but when it comes to the implementation stage, and when you look at the real ground level reality, whether it has reached the common man, sometimes it just does not reach. And that is where is the challenge before you. Yes, I know you have many laurels you have achieved in your life as principals. Your students, what they have achieved are feather in the cap for you, many feathers in the cap for you all. But are you going to be merely satisfied only doing that? Not rise to the occasion when the world is changing? When you are saying you are going to change course and transform education? What is the transformation you are bringing? This is the challenge before you in the various discussions that will take place. Yes, there are many problems one encounters. If you look at somebody's life, unthought of sometimes problems may arise. You have to overcome those hurdles. My His Grace Archbishop of Nagpur, Dr. Elias Gonsalves, did raise some issues which he feels very strongly about. Yes, I know, it would be correct or genuine perhaps, but one has to rise to conquer those things. And what is it that can conquer that? It is your spirit to conquer, your willpower. Remember one thing, there is no substitute for hard work. And whether you think sometimes, you may ponder, my things are not getting recognized, but work alone has its reward. Merit is bound to get recognized. The truth is bound to ultimately triumph, and that is what our religion is based on. Truth ultimately triumphs, the right things will triumph. So maybe you have to encounter a little hurdle, little more trouble, little more hard work, little more problem, but ultimately you have to conquer that. And that is what should be in your thinking. It should be in your spirit of fighting spirit. Only then you will be able to achieve and do what you want to do. And I think it is a known fact all over the world what has been Montfort contribution in the country, our institutions, other Catholic institutions, what has been the contribution. The topmost leaders of the country have been educated by our institutions. It is an accepted fact. So as against that background, don't think that we can ever be wished away. That could be only wishful thinking. It is only you who have to be strong and stand out. When you do good things, nobody can stop you. Just as truth is ultimately bound to prevail, and it would be ultimately truth that will come to the fore. We know our religion itself is based on love, on sacrifice. Jesus Christ, whom we talk about, is only sacrifice. He gave abundant love. He gave himself for humanity. And if we follow him, and if we truly want to live up to his principles, sacrifice is the main thing. Without sacrifice, your dedication also will not come. You are sacrificing. So if you sacrifice a little more, it will be acceptable to all the right thinking people. It will be acceptable to people who even try to oppose you or pull you down. Ultimately, as I said earlier, truth is something which is bound to come to the fore. Today when we think of education, let us think, and especially all of you as educationists, that you all are the real transformers. You all are the torch bearers of the future that is to come. You are the molders of young minds. You are the creators of the true wealth, which is human resources. The human resources that you are going to create is going to stand us good in times to come for the future. The other day, I was at a IT conference at Bangalore attended by none other than Mr. Piyush Goyal. I was myself astounded the planning that is taking place and the top brains that has assembled there who were discussions. In fact, for some moments I did get lost the way they were planning for the future. The planning was only this: India has got the strength, we have got the manpower, we have got our brains, we can be the topmost in the world as far as IT is concerned. And by IT, it is also education again. Everything, education is something which encompasses all the field. Education which encompasses wholesome building of an individual in acquisition of knowledge, in acquisition of skills, and in acquisition of every good thing that one can assimilate in one's life. That should be the true education. And that is what I expect all of you to deliberate at this conference. Come out with something new. Incidentally, I also want to say, in my little tiny state of Goa, I would say small is beautiful. In this lovely state, like I always have had some tiff with my friends from other states, they say that God's own country and all that terminology is being used. I keep telling them, if it's God's own country, Goa is blessed by all the gods. Gods dwell in Goa. That is what I tell them. And when you have so much of blessing of all the gods, and I'm sure Jesus Christ also will be fully blessing us, the good things are bound to come to the fore, which will allow future planning, which will allow good deliberation, which will get wholesome thoughts on the table, which can fructify into an action plan for the topmost educational path that is necessary, which is the need of the hour, especially post-pandemic. It is a challenge where I am confident all of you we will leave forward to, and will come out with astonishing result as a consequence, which will be there for all of us ultimately to enjoy the fruits. As good educated brains come out, the resource truly polished in forms that will transform the nation, which will transform your institution, which will get you to the top of the ladder as far as education is concerned, not only in this country, in the world as a whole. I wish all the participants all the very best at this conference, and I hope the strength of Montfort and its affiliates and all those associated with that continues to grow from strength to strength, giving strength to the students, giving strength to the future, giving strength to the transformation, giving strength to true transformational decisions that will come about for implementation, to enjoy the fruits which very much are necessary post-pandemic and after the country and the world has suffered. In fact, we do not know when the next virus also will come. We have to live up to that challenge as well. Today China is again suffering. Today China is again suffering. They say they are on the threshold of another big epidemic. And in today's world, you don't know what happens where and who does what. I don't want to say that. Privately, I was talking to His Grace as to why this could perhaps happen and who could be doing it. But as against that background, today these are challenging times. You have the war, unnecessary war, I call it, in Ukraine, what is happening. We are just coming out of the pandemic. People talk of a depression. But remember one thing, India as a country has the strength and the resilience. I call it a combination of several countries. We may be one India, but we are like a combination of countries. The population, the youth, the young population is a big resource which we are withholding. Make them perform something good. Polish them. Get them to the fore, and they will contribute to your great task of nation building in the greatest possible manner to get great result, so that we can rise as the true superpower, which you are going to be yourself torchbearers for that. With this wish before all of you, and once again wishing you all the very best at this particular conference, I take leave and I say, I am sure and confident that true and good results will come, which will help you yourself become strong and wholesome in your endeavors to educate others, get thousands and lakhs of people as the true resource of our great country. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, sir. The passion to transform education was very much evident, and I think for that, he deserves a louder round of applause. Once again, for our Honorable Minister. Thank you so much. Awards not only acknowledge success, but they recognize many other qualities, such as ability, struggle, effort, and above all, excellence. Every year, AIMS conducts national-level competitions to give their students an opportunity for development and a platform to showcase their talents. The winners are then recognized for their outstanding accomplishments. We shall now announce the winners of these competitions held for the year 2022-23. I kindly request our Superior General, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal, to give away the prizes. The second AIMS Drawing and Painting Competition 2020-23, hosted by VS St. John's Higher Secondary School, Andhra Pradesh, was in two categories. These are the winners of the first category, which was for classes 9th to 12th. The first place is begged by All Saints High School, Gun Foundry, Hyderabad. I request the principal of All Saints High School, Hyderabad, to kindly come forward to receive the award. The second place is begged by Montfort Inter-College, Lucknow. Brother Jacob will accept the award for the first place, All Saints High School, Gun Foundry, Hyderabad. The second place is begged by Montfort Inter-College, Lucknow. Come on, let's put our hands together for the winners. And the third place goes to Montfort School, Guwahati, Assam. The winners in the second category of classes 6 to 8 are as follows. First place goes to Montfort Higher Secondary, Tripura West. The second place is begged by Lake Montfort School, Bangalore. And the third place goes to N. St. Matthew's Public School, Patamala, Vijayawada. Thank you so much, Reverend Brother John, for doing the honors. I now request Reverend Dr. Irudayam, Chairman, National Council and Provincial Superior, Province of Trichy, to kindly give away the prizes to the next set of winners. English essay competition was hosted by Montfort School, Trichy Province. The first category for 9 to 12 standard. The first place is begged by Montfort Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School, Yerkad. The second place goes to Champion Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School, Trichy. The second place, Campion Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary, Trichy. And the third place goes to Montfort School, Trichy. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Erudhyam. I now request the Honorable Minister to kindly give away the prizes. English Essay Competition, Category 2, for Class 6 to 8. First prize is bagged by Montfort Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School, Erkant. The second place is bagged by Montfort School, Jharkhand. And the third place goes to Montfort School, Nagpur. Brother Shine Alex from Montfort School, Nagpur. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Congratulations to all the winners, the students, staff, and management for all the schools. We also extend our gratitude to the organizing schools for their planning and dedication. Thank you so much.
As a token of our love, I would request the National Council Chairman, Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam, to present a memento to the President, Reverend Brother John Kalarakal. I would also request Reverend Brother Dr. M. Irudayam to present a memento to Sri Movin Gudino. I also request Reverend Brother to present a memento to His Grace, Reverend Dr. Elias Gonsalves. Thank you. I now request the Provincial Superior, Reverend Brother Joico Garvasis, to present a memento to Sri Michael Manny D'Souza. Thank you. I now request the AIMS Secretary, Reverend Brother Satish K. Doon, to present the vote of thanks.
Reverend Brother John Calaracal, Honorable Superior General Montfort Brothers of St. Gabriel, Sri Movin Godino, Honorable Minister, Government of Goa, Honorable Archbishop His Grace Elias Gonsalves, Sri Michael D'Souza IAS, Reverend Brother Rudayam, Provincial Superior Trichy, and Chairman National Council, Reverend Brother Jaco Garvasis, Provincial Superior Pune, Reverend Brother Shine Alex, Provincial Superior Hyderabad, and Convener National Education Commission, all the provincials present here, all the brothers, resource persons, teachers, staff, students of Montfort Academy, personalities from media and press present here in this evening here. Good evening, and it has been such an honor to have you all. On the behalf of the National Education Commission and All India Association of Montfortian Schools, I would like to extend my happiest gratitude to all of you present here. First of all, I am thankful to the Almighty for giving us the courage and spirit to arrange this glorified event. I am sure His blessings will turn this event into a grand success. I extend my heartiest gratitude to Reverend Brother John Calaracal for gracing the occasion. Thank you, brother, for your fascinating and thought-provoking address. Further, I am immensely thankful to Sri Movin Godino, Honorable Minister, Honorable Archbishop His Grace Elias Gonsalves, Sri Michael D'Souza IAS, who took out valuable time of their busy schedule and honored us with their presence and messages which were thought-provoking, attention-grabbing, and mind-blowing. I would like to express our profound gratitude to all the resource persons present here. A special mention of gratitude to our respected provincials for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as pillars of strength. A huge thanks to the National Education Commission. I also extend thanks to Brother Santosh, Brother Joy Thomas, Brother Robert, and Brother Shajan for organizing various competitions for the students proficiently. Words are not enough to thank the enormous effort they undertook. We have been fortunate enough to have Brother Prem Sagar on board and be backed by a team of very proactive and dedicated staff who are well versed in their job. I am short of words for their involvement and their willingness to take on completion of tasks. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to Brother Prem and the staff, the teachers of Montfort Academy, and all the associates who provided the perfect logistics and made all the arrangements for this event. I extend my appreciation to our wonderful students for their brilliant performance of song and dance. We wish them all the best for their bright future. I want to extend my generous thanks to all the participants, the principals and the heads of the institutions for being present here. Thank you for your presence, your support and your cooperation. Dear brothers, the circumstances are anew. We must think anew and act anew. We need to look at the Montfortian education in a new way. Not just for today, but to make the tomorrows more rewarding, more fulfilling, more compelling by the changes we resolve to make in our schools and institutions. Let us turn from spectators to participants. Let us recall the inspiring words of US President Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to remain with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor much suffer, because they live in great delight that knows not victory nor defeat." We have too much to do to sit on sidelines. We need to take a step out of the great delight into the bright sunshine so that we can see the dawn of a new day and a new era. Let's all be in the pursuit of a brighter, better, brilliant, transformed Montfortian education. Thanks again, everyone, for everything. Thank you.
I would request everyone to kindly stand for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।
The dinner is served and you can proceed towards the open air restaurant Manas. Those who would be traveling back to Pilar and the other place, kindly, there will be transport arranged for you, so kindly get in touch with us and we will make the necessary arrangements. Thank you.
Dear brothers, there is one counter on the top of Manus, so please make yourself available on the top. So those who would like to use the washrooms, we have both the sides of the restaurant, we have the washrooms. Then you can proceed to the restaurant. Thank you.
Cover. Wonderful. That's very good.